Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear
Yep.
you.
Yes, sir.
You on a new joint?
Yeah, let me see if this is the same.
Yo, this
Yeah, it
nigga.
changed the link. Yeah, it changed the link.
Sorry, guys.
It's all right. We could just switch it real quick. It's all right.
Look at work.
It ain't that big of a deal. Done. What the fuck, y'all? What's going on with the live?
You gotta delete this one, bro. This the 30 minutes though.
Ah.
I don't care about that.
Should.
Who give a fuck?
A lot of people.
This is the live right here.
Are we keeping the same link or no?
This
Is
shit
it staying up?
Fuck it, keep
You
it.
wanna keep it running? Cause I need.
We'll fix this shit later. We need to do this episode.
I ain't trying to be back and forth with this shit.
So, what we doing? What we doing?
Bro, you had audio from the joint.
I know, I didn't know.
What we doing, boss?
We gonna go in a few.
Boomerang.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
It doesn't say you're live right now. Oh, never mind.
We live. Now we really live.
Let's get it.
We live with the audio.
YouTube.
Wait, so the video's good? We good to go?
The video's good. He's gonna set up whatever he needs to set up.
Wait. Let me refresh the John.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Cheap. Reed got his own ad lib for years, right? Reed, that's been
Yeah,
that's been his
what-
ad lib for years. It works, bro. You be like,
does.
what the
Fuck
fuck?
I'm not knocking it.
Wait, this isn't live.
I need an ad lib.
What happened?
Yeah, it is.
Need my own ad lib.
It's stream. Okay. But the thumbnail is not us.
No, I put the basement statement, John.
Fuck it.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Right. Oh man, we coming in soulful as fuck.
Yes, yeah.
He said,
Oh,
yes,
shit.
yeah. I could do it too, bro. Don't hate.
I
Appreciate
see.
it.
I hear you over there.
Ooh. That's what it sounds like.
OT the real got on BET.
For real?
Yeah.
Was he rapping like this and he's rapping like that?
That's like legendary.
Come
Right.
on, bro.
For white people.
Come on,
I mean,
bro.
is it legendary though? For a white person to get on BET?
No, I don't think so. I don't think now, cause Eminem already did like a cipher
Right,
on there and all that.
That's
shit.
what I'm saying. So it's like, and they had the boy Yellow Wolf. I feel
Yeah,
like you
Yellow
gotta be
Wolf.
like, it's like an honor.
It's nothing whiter than Yellow Wolf.
Yeah. It's like,
MGK.
Yellow Wolf, no,
No,
because
no.
a Yellow Wolf still believes in the Confederate flag.
yeah.
For real?
Yes, because he believes in Dixie culture.
Yellow
Like
Wolf is-
Dixie, like Dixie chicks?
No, Dixie culture. Dixie culture is
Oh, school me, bro.
Dixie
'cause I have no
culture is a
fucking
culture
clue.
that's down south. Basically,
Okay.
it's the South's culture. You know how it was the North versus the South?
Uh-huh.
Exactly. So Dixie culture, you know how it was Confederate versus Union or whatever like that?
Right.
That's Dixie culture down south.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Frank.
Yo.
We ain't on you, bro.
All right, hold on. I'm just posting that we're live.
Yes.
Ooh. Oh. Ooh. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
Excuse me.
Okay. We're good to go. Well, at least on my end.
Right.
Ready?
Hey, yo. We live. Check us the fuck out. We gonna rock this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Let's start whenever you ready.
All right. We on.
Oh yeah.
Let this bitch ride.
Oh yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Oh.
Hey. Hey,
We in this bitch.
it's another fucking week of Basement Statements,
Another
guys.
episode, bro.
We here. I'm Nelson.
Gigi Reed.
I got Frank on the mic, and we got a
What
special
up, what
guest
up?
today. Our special guest today. You want to introduce yourself, or you want me to do it, bruh? Hey, we got JayRon the motherfucking Visionary today.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
No auto tune needed.
no.
You feel me?
Yeah, man, y'all gotta cut that shit out.
Yeah.
Hey man, this is one of the most talented men I fucking ever met. I swear to God, this fucking man.
Oh,
Vocals
man,
is crazy, bro.
Yep.
You guys are crazy.
And we've been around. We've been around
And we
the
was
boat, so.
Appreciate
me and Frank just came back. Me and Franchise came back from playing some of his shit for some people. Yo, he got some fire, bro.
Right.
Franchise is hot.
So
right.
we had to come through and get this
Right.
shit locked and loaded. JayRon
So,
was
man.
waiting for us.
JayRon, what's good, bro?
All right, man. I can't call it, man. Bless.
We appreciate you coming through Basement
I
Statements, bro.
appreciate you having me, man.
Definitely, bro. We
Yes, sir.
excited to have you. You one of the most talented guests we had. You know,
Oh,
we
stop,
appreciate
man,
it.
stop.
We appreciate a lot of people that came through, bro. We appreciate everybody, bro. Thank you, JayRon's girl, for coming through.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
It's my
shit.
baby.
Hi, Diamond.
Shout out.
so
where you was coming from, bro?
Today, what are we doing today? Actually, yeah. Well, my girl, we celebrated my birthday yesterday, so.
Oh,
Happy
man.
birthday,
Happy
bro.
birthday, bro. What a,
I got let's get it. Yo,
How old you now?
I'm 24 now. My birthday was on the 5th, but
Oh,
it was a Monday, so nothing.
Word.
Nobody
Happy
celebrates.
Happy belated,
You know
though,
what I
man.
mean?
Right,
Appreciate
right.
it, appreciate
For
it.
sure.
So, we,
I mean, you old as shit now, bro.
I know, man. That's how I think when I get older, man. I'll be like, all right, I'm 24 now. Now I'm 25. It's already there.
Wait until you hit the 30s. It's so fun. You enjoy life a little bit more, though, because you be like, shit.
Yeah, you done seen and done more. I can't wait till I get to 30. As a songwriter, it's like I want to like experience what like a 30-year-old has
Mhm.
experienced. You know what I mean? To be
Hell
able to
yeah.
write from that perspective, like I
It-
can't wait to
It's
see.
totally, I mean, for me, the 30s, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna be 30. That means I'm gonna die. I could die in like XYZ time, and I'm
Oh,
tripping
shit.
over here.
He's still young though. You
Right,
still,
but
like,
I didn't look
super
at it that
young.
way.
yeah.
Right? Me and Franchise stay arguing about that because he'd be like, bro, I'm 28. Like, I live life till its fullest.
I feel
How old are
22.
you?
I'm 30.
30. Okay. So you just
This was recently.
Oh, yeah, you cool. Oh, he said, oh, I thought you was talking like you way older than that. I was about to be like, oh man.
Yeah,
No,
right. Like
I
he a
need those
fucking
jeans.
grandpa.
Yo, right.
Right? Imagine.
I feel like a grandpa. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I be like,
Yeah.
stop doing that stuff.
Yo.
Like a grandpa would, right?
Yeah.
Look at me drinking old man vino and shit. Fuck you, man.
We drinking wine
Yeah,
and
you got
shit.
the red
Oh,
wine.
Chill,
Yeah,
dog. That's what
fucking
I do.
wine.
It keeps my blood flowing, bro.
I don't
Young
know
bloods.
how y'all be drinking that shit. I be like,
shit. Yeah, that's too bitter for me.
right,
Dog.
thank you, bro. At least I got somebody on my side finally.
The
I
guava
thought I was the
wine,
only
thank you.
motherfucker that thought that shit tastes nasty.
Yeah, no,
Nah,
I could
bro.
do the white wine, maybe. White wine.
I ain't taste that shit
We
yet.
chilling. We chilling.
Damn,
But
man.
yeah, man, we excited to have you here. What's up with you, Reed? How was your week?
Fucking hectic, bro.
We're naming it.
Hectic. You know what I mean? Especially living in the hood where you got to deal with fuck shit, bro. Like dumbass shit. Talking about music playing till 3 in the morning,
Talk about it.
3:30 in the morning. Fucking the whole car parked up on the side. I'm talking about the whole car
Talk about
parked
it.
up on the sidewalk with
no,
the
we'll
trunk
play that.
open. With the trunk open and
It's
and
the
then
summer though. That's
and
what you
then-
get, bro. That's why I love the winter, bro. It be quiet as shit outside.
Right. Everybody
but the
be in
cops
house.
passing by without even stopping them.
But they'll stop you for rolling through a stop sign.
Yeah,
Right.
bro. I'm
Blow
like,
your
the
whole
fuck
shit
out
up.
of here, bro.
Right.
I got
Crazy.
bad luck with them niggas too. Swear to God. So where you from, JayRon?
So I was born in Philadelphia, born in Temple Hospital. When I was 11 months, my parents took me back to the U.S. Virgin Islands, where they moved to from Grenada. So I'm Grenadian heritage wise.
Is that West Indies? Is it?
West Indies? Yeah, it's closer to South America. Yeah.
Mm.
So it was just always, I didn't grow up with like the Philly culture. So I didn't start, it's crazy, like with music, I didn't start getting into like worldly music, as they say in church, until
Right.
I was like probably in 9th grade or something like that, when YouTube started popping.
Worldly.
Yeah, right. That's what they say in church. The
Right.
worldly music or secular. That was their favorite
right.
word in the church. So
The devil's music.
right.
Let's just
The
keep
devil,
it.
right.
Let's just keep it fucking
yeah,
blatant. All right?
everything was gospel, real gospel. Family.
It's 10 o'clock.
Right in. Oh, what was that?
It's
Oh,
10
The
o'clock.
oh,
laptop
shit.
letting us know we 10 o'clock. It's all
Let's
right.
get it. But yeah, so so Olney, that's where we kind of stayed, but we moved around Philly a lot. Like our house just kept getting broken into. Like it was weird.
Hold on. So you was born in Temple Hospital, born in Philly, and then they moved you to where again?
So
Virgin Islands?
yeah, we would go back every summer. So that would be like that was as a kid that was kind of home for me because that's where all my family was.
Okay.
Because over here it was just me, my mom, my dad, and my 2 aunts.
Were you isolated from like kids growing up?
Yeah. So,
here?
So like I didn't have like a lot of friends growing up because we just I stayed in the house. My parents they were always working, so anyone who was watching us they were told keep them in the house and everything like that because it was just
It's Philly.
yes exactly
Shit.
they know what they were dealing with so and I didn't understand that until later on as a kid. Once we stayed here, I was about 8 or 9 when we stopped going back and forth because of course it got like really expensive.
Yeah.
And my dad had started a new company, so he wasn't making money because prior he had like 3 jobs, so,
Right.
foreigner shit,
Right.
So
Yeah, we all know.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's like so it's just like we were we moved around a lot in the city. We had we lived in okay parts of the city. It was never like the super slums. Like Olney was probably as bad as it got.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a little rough around the edges, but not too
like because Olney's like a mix.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
You got white, Spanish, and black. So it was
And Chinese, bro.
and the Chinese, the Cambodians, and they you're all mixed in. And I lived like around like Godfrey, so it was like
Okay.
right, Cheltenham was right there. So like right on the other side was like the county, pretty much. And
Okay.
then so it wasn't too bad, but
Philly's.
Philly. You know what I mean? Like Temple started building shit, and we moved. North Philly. Everybody who lived there started moving up into Olney. So
Mhm.
shit got bad, and eventually my dad was like, "Let's move. Let's get out of here." He got a real big job from Mayor John Street, and he ended up getting like a citation of the city, one of those awards. He got the little Liberty Bell, John,
Oh, that's
Mm.
for
lit.
doing City View apartments,
Okay.
condominiums downtown.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Oh,
right next to
wow.
that Wawa, right near like the art museum and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
He renovated that, so all the new apartments you see in there, he designed that.
Oh, that's lit.
Made everything.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
so he got that and moved us out of the hood. One of my friends, well, not a friend, but like a kid that was on the block we used to play with. His grandfather got shot at the end of our block, and my dad wasn't home, so it kind of freaked him out a little bit. So he was just like, you know what,
Let's get
we're
the fuck
moving.
out of
Yeah,
here.
yeah, man. He was
Yeah.
building the house, and we couldn't by law couldn't live in the house. It was just a structure at the time, and he had us living in like a cabin, like a built like a shack kind of John, and we used to drive 45 minutes into the city to go to school. So every morning it was like you wake up in a shack, right?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
and then you wash up, and we had a porta potty outside, and because he had it for the construction site.
Yeah.
And I would go to school. I was going to a school called Ivy Leaf in Philly, and we used to go. I used to have a blazer. Like you had to go, in Philly schools, even in public school, you got to like wear a uniform.
Right.
So, but this was like a private school, and they, we were blazered down every day, super clean. So like you didn't know.
You would never know.
Yeah,
right?
you would never know what circumstance a kid, was
Yeah.
coming from. But everybody in the school was.
What you think that like what kind of direction you think that molded you in, like that living in that situation, where it's kind of struggle, but you're not struggling because you're still out
Yeah.
of the hood, but you still, you know what I'm saying?
It was weird because like seeing, first of all, just seeing the islands, like living in like a basically a third world country is like it's not, there's nowhere in Philly that's like that. You know what I
No.
mean? But even being there, you don't feel poor. So it's like, I never felt poor. My parents were always like, they always had stuff for me. You know what I mean? Like I always had food on the table. I always had a roof over my head. You know, I always had, you know, they didn't buy me like I had hand-me-downs and all that. They didn't buy me like the newest, nicest clothes and toys.
But you could
Like,
never tell, right?
Yeah, but I never, but I didn't know what a lot of that stuff was. My godmother actually, I call her my fairy godmother because like she really like helped out our family, like just with, you know, with sneakers and toys.
So you think that like that situation like that is what gave you all that flavor and all that, like,
Yeah,
all that
definitely.
spice you got?
Definitely,
Because you definitely like, you know what I'm saying, like as far as a singer, it's different. You don't get the Philly vibe so much from you, but you still kind of get it. And
yeah,
you know.
I had to learn how to be a Philadelphian, so I didn't get made fun of in school.
I
I had to, I had to,
Philly.
yeah, I had to learn how to be from Philly, and the even the island flavor. Like I had to like kind of, cause my parents, they were going through their transition too. Like my mom was a school teacher, so she was teaching Philly kids. You know what I'm saying? So she couldn't really, you know, be from the islands. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So she had to change her voice and everything like that. And that's kind of actually how I got to singing. Like I obviously was singing in church, but like my mom, when she would teach me, like before I started actual school, she used to tutor me and teach me. So I would speak. She would teach me how to speak clearly, and she would sound like she's from here.
She would enunciate everything.
Yeah, yeah. And she would change her voice. So I started to do that because, you know, when you're young, you speak like your parents, you talk like them. So I had a super thick accent.
I got a question for you. Can you turn the accent on?
Yeah, like I mean, you want me to just do the interview?
I'm just saying, like, it don't matter. I'm just saying, like, is that something you could
just
flip flop?
Yeah, I gotta go in and out. I could just, you know, turn it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know why? I believe him because I used to mess with this Jamaican chick, younger, like 15 years old, 15, 16 years old. Used to mess with this little Jamaican chick, right? And I used to hang out with her while she'll be babysitting her baby brother.
Oh yeah,
like 2-3 years old, right? So we'll walk to the park or whatever, and Rayan, her name, sorry. Anyway, her,
we can beep it if
her,
we need to.
No, she's in Ohio now. She'll be all right. Rayan, right? I would hang out with her, right?
Right.
And there was times where she'll be with her baby brother babysitting. We'll walk to the park to take him to the playground. So we chilling and we'll be talking and she'll be like, yeah, Reed, so this, that, yada, yada. Once he do something wrong, Isaac, come to me about that. Yo, nigga, bum the cup. Yo, bro. It went from preppy and sweet to yo, somebody about to die, bro. Like I was
see in Jamaica, they got Bombo Clan, Ross Clan.
Yeah, all that crazy shit, right?
In St. Croix, we say mother scun, like that's like our cuss word. So when I get mad, it comes out a lot. Like when I'm talking to my son, like it definitely comes out.
You got a son?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
2-year-old. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh
so,
man.
I'm blessed.
At the stage where
it's fun.
Yelling. Yeah.
Let's just put it as
yeah, man. So that shit, like
from dad to dad, we know.
You switch back to the accent sometimes?
Yeah. I talk to him like that. Just because like I want him to like hear, you know, I want him to just like how I heard. You know, like, and I don't want him to be like my parents. They like my dad when he was younger. He probably would never admit it, but he would try to sound super white. Like my girl, like I would like he sounds proper. Like I shouldn't say white. I shouldn't say white, but it's like the Queen's English. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like he'll do like the Queen's English, and he'll try and talk like that, and I'll be like, "Come on, Dad, like I know how you talk." But you know what I mean? Like, and it's just like, but it trained me to like, okay, maybe, and you know, like my dad, like once I started telling him like, you know, I'm getting made fun of, like he was like, you know, like don't care, like that's how you talk, whatever, blah blah blah. So I used to go to school like whatever, like this is how I talk, right? And I mean the girls liked it, but the guys just, you know, they hated me for it. They, you know, and it's open game. Like as I'm older now, like I look back and I'm like of course that's funny, like you know what I mean, but it was just I just didn't understand it when I was a kid. So
they hated it because the girls liked it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I was the girl.
Sounding like the boy from Futurama.
Right.
Girl, them sugar for real. Right. I mean, yeah.
And that's crazy because like coming from like a Latin background and me being the one that everybody goes to and goes, hey, we need you to make this. Like the other day, my brother was like, yo, I need to return this, but I need you to say it nicely. So call this number. And I was like, well, I didn't appreciate the fact that I was sold something that doesn't work with this camera.
Yeah.
And bro, I could turn that shit on and turn it off any day. Like
it's
it's
just-
that
and-
easy.
And it's crazy because I developed that living in the suburbs. Because so once we started, like once we were able to live in the house, then we were able to be like go to the school district.
Suburbanites,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And it was Bucks County, a little town called Percy. And like this was weird for me because, bro, it was just too many white people. Like when you come from Philly, like I'm in the islands, it's all black people, so it's whatever. You know, the white people you see, they're tourists or they're from like foreign countries. And then like in the hood, like the white people you saw were like the guys on the news, like, you know, people on the TV and shit.
Mhm.
And then you to just be thrown, and then you're as a minority, you have this perception of white people, you know what I'm saying? And then you just dropped into the situation. It was just, it didn't mix. Like it didn't mix. I was literally when I moved up there, I did my 7th grade year, and I literally like had to change like everything. Like I couldn't dress the way like I was dressing. Like I went to school in like sweater vests and shit. But like they didn't wear uniforms and stuff. So like they went to school however they wanted. Like
Dress down.
Oh, so you was the one that was
yeah. So I would come to school like
spicy.
Formal,
dapper,
formal.
like yeah,
Right.
like
Like you
straight.
should.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
fresh shit. Like, but they just like it was different to like they didn't see it because like they thought black people, like they didn't have any encounter with a black person. The only black people they had up there was this half black, half white guy.
That don't
And-
count.
Yeah, right. And it and then
that don't count.
and then they had this one black girl. That was it. And I was the new kid. So there was 3 of us out of the entire middle school, like,
Right.
was white. So after that year, I came back to Philly, and I didn't realize, like, my girl would tell you, because I've known her since we were kids. They would tell me I sounded white, and I used to be like, what the fuck, like, no,
I
I
don't
don't
want to sound white.
like, you know, I was like come on, mom,
Which
like,
is fucked
like
up.
straight white shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm trying to change the way I talk, like saying like, oh, that's how white people talk, blah 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 blah. But no, there's like really a way, that,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
white people
yeah.
talk.
No,
you know
I
what I mean?
understand.
Of course.
So
That's
I-
something I turn on. Listen, I
You
leave
gotta
this
turn
house.
it on sometimes.
I leave
Joe.
this house and I go to my 9 to 5.
Put it
And
right
you
up.
better believe that shit. I listen.
Yeah.
I need this to happen.
You
I
got
need that
to.
to happen.
Yeah,
I understand your dilemma, sir.
that's how you get
Shit
right.
like
You saying,
that.
yo, you gotta get real. You gotta get down there and
You start
talk, 'cause-
using you use 3 big words, bro. You good.
But you
Like
know, you
Gucci.
gotta kill that. We gotta try to kill that stigma though, man.
Yeah.
Because we speak properly, why does it have? You know
It
what I'm
has to-
saying?
because if you really want to break it down,
Yeah.
like nobody in America speaks proper English.
Right.
Like if you don't
True.
sound like not even Idris Elba and them don't.
Well,
even
he's
speak-
British.
He's British, but he doesn't even speak proper English.
it's
Like,
just
he speaks
yeah.
something like something else, and then like he was talking about. I was seeing this interview. He was saying they have this other slang called Cockney's or something.
The crazy thing with anybody British is they watch so much American television that they can literally
They
just
can talk.
throw it on.
Yeah.
They can throw. That's why you see like House. You ever watch House?
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie. Hugh Laurie is, bro. I'm a bloody Brit, blah blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah. With
yeah.
this bloody accent.
And then can
And
just
then
turn
can-
it right on.
He can be like, "You
That's
fucking
crazy.
asshole."
It's
He can,
because
bro. It's because so much television that they
Yeah.
watch, bro. They can switch it.
that's literally how I learned, like mimicking accents is like literally how I learned to sing. Like that's like just being able to mimic like the sounds and like different stuff like that. And because I had to mimic the Philly accent, like I had to
You got to say John a whole bunch.
yeah, like all that shit. Like I had to like really listen to how the kids was talking
Yeah.
and how people were talking like on TV and online and
Yeah.
shit like that. And then I mimic that and that's how that's how I created characters for myself so that I
Right.
could blend in.
So is that
Mhm.
how you develop like a song or like a melody or something like that? Do you create that character in your head? and
Yeah, yeah. It goes all the way up into that. Like if I have to now writing for people, like it gets kind of easier because I can kind of use their personality. But I would just just all right. if we're writing, let's say we just cut some hooks for Meek, let's see what artists that he works with would be like Tory Lanez,
Mm-hmm.
who else, like LMA, he just did one with Rick Ross. So we would go John Legend, he just did a John with. So we would go and I would listen to beats that I would hear them singing the hooks on,
Right.
and listen for little tones and little beats that Meek would, how his flow would complement that beat, and then I would go in and tailor make it so that one of those guys would sing it. So they hear it, they'll be like, all right, yeah, that sounds like Travis Scott. Let's put Travis Scott on there. Right. That sounds like Tory Lanez. Let's put Tory Lanez on there. So I would literally, once I'm doing the melodies, I would literally go into like their voice. Like I would try to like mimic how they're doing their voice, how they're in the studio, and that's just how it comes out. But
That's crazy.
But singing, like, it's crazy because when I first started getting like serious about singing, I started mimicking Chris Brown. He's like sensei to me. Like,
That's my nigga, bro.
He's
So
crazy.
We watched the John with him and Drake the other day, and Reed was like, "That's my Michael Jackson."
Yeah, no, real
That's
shit.
my Michael.
That's my
Real
Michael
shit.
Jackson.
People
bro.
be mad at me for saying that, but he's really my Michael.
He's Michael today.
Yeah.
Anybody that don't
Yeah.
you can suck a dick. Nobody could dance better than him.
If he did,
Nobody makes more
this
fucking
right?
projects than him. Nobody.
if he didn't have that scandal with Rihanna, I don't think.
Yeah, he'll be.
Bro,
Bro,
but the thing is, I think that's what spices it, because if you think, okay, Chris Brown, boom, scandal with Rihanna, boom, still Chris Brown.
Yeah.
It did not teeter. It is still Chris Brown comes out with a
he
song.
was off for like
He
a year.
beat the shit out of Rihanna, and
Yeah,
he's
it was
still
just-
up there, bro. And look at this shit with Drake. That shit was cool because like Drake made himself a fool, and it was like blah blah blah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But that
like,
was-
if they do a project, they would break numbers.
If they do a
Really.
project like Future and Drake had done, but Chris Brown and Drake,
it would be crazy.
bro,
It would be
that
crazy.
would kill mainstream.
Dude,
Them
dude.
numbers, even though anything Drake does,
The
is
charts
numbers,
would never
bro.
see anything.
Drake
like
put
it,
out
man.
an album with all his baby shit, like shit from before.
He's because he can do like it's like Jordan. Like he can literally just recycle shit and just put it back out. Oh yeah, y'all remember these Jones, right? I'm gonna put this project out. Make
I
it
do though,
cool
because I
little
was like,
million.
this
Yeah,
is my
right?
shit,
30 streaming numbers.
right?
I mean,
That's just crazy.
off of what I already made
what
money
you-
off of.
What was it that you said about that? About the care package? You told me something the other day. Was
Oh.
it you?
That if it was an official release and we never heard these songs before, that would be his best project.
Yeah, it would. Oh,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
easily,
Hands down.
easily.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Hands
And then
down.
Reed told me he killed the hot girl summer on that drawing.
Yeah, he did. He every girl wanted to be a hot girl, and then when Drake dropped that, it brought them back in their feelings.
I
Right.
always-
And it
Facts.
killed the hot girl summer. It was
I-
like, oh, I want a boyfriend now.
I always say, it's gonna be a hot girl summer, but it's gonna be a lonely ass winter.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be like,
And when
damn.
that care package
Right.
playing during the winter, bro, oh,
damn.
them tears gonna be raining.
with that motion,
bro.
John, right?
Yup.
Hold on,
How about now?
hold on, sweetheart. Hold on, sweetheart. I thought it was a hot girl summer.
Right.
Hold on.
Oh,
Yo, that's wild.
so you talked about like how things as far as your mother teaching you how to speak and everything, and giving these examples of how it helps you, sing and everything. What influenced you to sing, or who influenced you to sing? Because you broke down the
Chris
I mean,
Brown shit and all that, but
so-
like outside of that, like what brought it?
my dad actually is like very musically talented. Like he can sing. You know what I'm saying? Play the piano, trumpet, drums. Like he was doing it all. So like in church, he was a minister. So he was like in church, the ministers like they're like the just like,
top.
Yeah, it's like new edition in the church. Our church was really big too. So like we had like at the height of it, it was like 2,000 members. Like so yeah, it was a really
That's
really.
a
It's called
lot
New
of
Covenant
people.
Church on Germantown, 7500 Germantown. Little plug.
Mm.
But
Plug it all you want.
yeah,
bro.
they supported me, man, through my entire life. So I'm not so big into Christianity now, but like I'll always, always this family. So, but yeah, he was a minister. He played trumpet, played all different types of instruments and sang. He was like crazy with the singing. He actually had like a gospel group called Flight back in the day.
Okay.
Like he was, not nothing, super big. Did some open acts in St. Thomas. So
That's nice.
I used to just watch him, and I just wanted to be that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a lot of competition going on in my house because, like I said, we didn't really interact with other people. You know, like it
Oh,
was
so throughout this whole process, it's not just you.
yeah.
You got brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I got a brother. So, like I was saying, all my family was in the island, so we
Right.
all stayed together. So,
Mm.
in Alney, once we ended up in Alney, it was my aunt's house, and we had to move out of our apartment because it got broken into somehow. Don't know how our house is always getting broken into, but we moved in with my aunt. So it was me, my aunt, my little brother,
Okay.
my older cousin, his little brother, my cousin, my like other little cousin. So my aunt had 3 kids. My mom and dad had 2 kids, and then my aunt from the army, she had just come back from the Air Force, and she had a son. So we were all in the house. So
So, but
it's all of us in a 3-bedroom bro home. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
like that's how it was for a while, and then yeah, that it was us in the row home, and then we moved out eventually. Once we moved up to the suburbs, then everybody kind of dispersed and did their
so
own
did
thing.
they do music as well?
No, but everybody sang though. Like everybody, my family was real like vocal. Like in church, like they were always the ones who led songs at like VBS
Gifted,
and stuff like that.
vocally gifted.
Yeah,
Okay.
like everybody could hold a note. But my
Mm.
mom played like the flute back in the day, like, but she's not like she don't really get down like that no more. But it's just, but my
if
dad,
you know how to play the flute,
You
you're
get
yeah,
down,
that's
right?
like a skill, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
she
yeah.
still has it under her bed.
People,
like, I don't
I
know if
mean,
she
people see
uses it.
Squidward and they want to fucking make a joke out of the
like
flute.
Lizzo, like the Joan Lizzo for
Yeah,
the BT
yeah.
Awards. She's
Crazy,
phenomenal, bro. Crazy, like
Bro, like
super
even
dope.
hearing somebody like Stevie Wonder play
The harmonica,
the harmonica,
yeah,
it's like
man. Yeah, man.
that shit
It's like
crazy.
it's an art. So I don't it's just it's not like how they're not like serious with it, like, but there everybody can get down. Like if
Yeah.
we had a little band together, like it'd be dope. My dad was
Yeah.
like kind of like Joe Jackson a little bit too, because like he was, super super strict,
Okay.
but like we used to his punishments were like construction, because he was a structural engineer and a
Right.
carpenter. So it would be construction, or we would just have to practice. Like we couldn't do nothing fun. Like we would just have to practice our music or our like math or like whatever it was that we needed help on.
Right.
If we were up on our, because 9 times out of 10 we had to be up on our schoolwork, so it would be like
Did any
music or
of y'all
something.
become construction workers?
Yeah, my cousin actually did.
I
My
was
first
like,
cousin.
man, your pop probably made y'all
Yeah,
hate that
my
shit.
first cousin was like my older brother.
Right.
We grew up together. And his dad wasn't around. We don't till this day he's never met his dad. I don't know who he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So my dad was his dad. So even though he was my older cousin,
That's your brother.
yeah, that's like my older brother. So
Right.
and my dad wasn't my dad was always in my life. He always lived with us, but he wasn't around a lot because he worked. He had, what I'm saying, 3
Yeah.
jobs. I never rarely my dad lived in the house with us. It was like living with somebody who was renting a room. Like you never seen him. Like you
That's
never seen
wild.
him. It was just like, but as a kid, I never understood. But as I got older and I had my son, like I almost like I broke down because I'm just like, damn, like yo, because I used to really like talk shit on my dad, like to my mom, like like where the fuck is he at? Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
but he was really out there like busting his ass.
Hustling,
Like he
right?
was taking
Yeah.
care of us. Like he would send money back to St. Thomas, you know what I'm saying, to St. Croix. He would fly back and forth, helping my grandfathers on both sides build, stuff for the family. So once I got older, I was like, damn, this nigga's like really Superman. So it was like,
So basically what he's telling us is we can go over there on vacay, all us
yeah,
basement
hell
statements,
yeah.
right? And
Hell
we can go
yeah.
party over there. We
Yeah.
can
Just
go
let
live in
me
one of his
know.
hotels, bro.
Just let me know. One of the hotel in the K. It's a nice setup outside, but the rooms are shitty. It's just not. It's dated, but you can like my crib is where my grandparents stay is right on the top of the hill. You walk down. It's a nice little like 2-block walk, and you get down. It's like the whole dock and everything like that.
That's
and
lit,
you see
bro.
they have a man-made island with a hotel on it. That's Hotel in the K. So they got a guy, you pay him $2 to get on the boat. but we just, we get on this gun and just fucking swim. Fucking
You're
outside.
good, bro. He said we swim,
Yeah,
bro.
swim.
To the
It's not that
island.
far. Like it's not as far. But if
I'm
you
fat. It's far.
Nah, I could
the
do a
ocean
little-
carry you like half the
Yeah,
way, so
yeah,
you
yeah.
you mean you good. Like,
The ocean
Just
gonna
get on his
carry me
back.
more
Nigga,
than
get on
half.
his back. He be alright. Be cool.
Fuck all that. There's
just kick
no
your
way
legs.
in
Just
hell.
kick your legs. Heavy
Right.
shit.
So you basically told us like who influenced you and stuff to get in music. Now, as
Uh-huh.
far as sound,
Uh-huh.
other artists, legends, who was the people
Oh,
that you
man.
was like boop 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 boop.
Right. Who you
J.
take
Ron.
that sauce from?
Boop,
to
boop,
make
boop.
you.
JayRon.
I said Chris Brown. Once I got to Chris Brown, it took me to Michael. Then Michael took me to James.
Oh shit.
And then James
You
took
went that
me.
back.
Yeah, like I had to go because I had to get up on my history. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
people were always telling me, like, if this is what you want to do,
Mhm.
you got to do your research.
Student
So,
of the
Digging the
game.
crates.
yeah. So exactly, become a student of the
To
game.
this day,
So
right?
I had to, and always got to learn, and always got to keep like absorbing. So I had to go from James Brown. I was like, all right, so who was James? And my thing was like, these guys were great. They had competition though. You know what I mean? So who were these? Who like gave these guys a run for their money? So then I would.
Prendergrass.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And then with Michael, I got to Prince, and then I got to and then fast forward, we get to the '90s, like Boys to Men,
Mhm.
then
112.
112, Jodeci. You know
All
what I'm
for
saying?
One.
Yeah, man. And then you got your solo guys. So then I got down to like Chris Brown and like Trey Songz came out. He was modern, so I sounded a lot like Chris Brown and Trey Songz as I started. But then
I don't blame you, bro. Them motherfuckers
bro, they
suck.
were like the hottest thing, bro. If you could, bro, can't help but wait, bro.
Yeah.
If you could sing that to a
Crazy.
girl
I
back in the
can't
day,
stop missing.
right?
you.
Ooh, that was
So good with you.
that was my
bro.
shit, dog. Yo,
Right.
I see you.
Yeah,
Bro, that was that
yeah,
shit, bro. I used to sing that shit to every girl, dog.
Yeah.
I seen they got the girls, dog, and I was just like,
Right.
this is what I'm gonna do. I was like, yo, this is how I'm gonna get in, because
Yeah.
I was a weird. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't had no friends. You know what I'm saying? So like, how am I gonna talk to a female? You know what
How
I mean?
old were
Like,
you at that time when you was like, I'm gonna do this?
I was probably, I would say like 12, 13.
Wow,
13
you knew
years
that
old.
early.
Yeah. I was just because, and it's crazy. This guy, his name's Mr. Carl. I mean, he rest in peace. He passed away. He was one of my mentors. He was the youth choir director, and his son was a good singer too. And this guy, I'm telling you, like this guy sounded just like Donnie McClurkin, like when he sang, like his dad.
That's crazy.
And he was just inspiring to all of us, and he was the young dad too, so he was like kind of hip, so he was like, he was easy to talk to. And he told me, he was like, you could really, he was like, you're like really good at this, like, because I used to get discouraged because I'm like, I don't really sing for real, like I play sports, that was my thing. So he like, his son was really good though, and I was just like, man, your son is like crazy. He was like, listen, he was like, he's good, but he was like, you could be like big, like he was, I'm saying, like you could make this a profession, like he, you know what I'm saying, like you keep going. And once I listened, I was like, maybe I can do this. And I started singing like in school to like all the girls and stuff, and they was just loving it. Like I was just like, wow, it's crazy.
Self-taught?
Yeah, I didn't have teachers in the beginning. No.
What was your first like studio session like?
No, but
Go ahead.
real quick. In the beginning, you say you didn't
Yeah.
have no.
No, I ain't have any teachers. What I had was my dad. This is what happened, right?
The ruler, right?
I'll be humming and shit, right? But like as a kid, you don't give a fuck, right? You just be humming, right? And my dad would be like, yo, listen, if you gonna hum, like hum on key. You know what I'm saying?
Nigga, what?
Like fuck the bullshit. Hum on key. Like it was like if you gonna hum or whistle, that was his pet peeve. Like if you gonna whistle, like whistle that motherfucking key. Or like he would snap, like he would really like, yo, like he would get you, he would really sit there and like make sure you on key. So
sucks.
that kind of helped me. Like I developed this like annoying like thing when I record people, like you have to be on key, and if you're not, like I will record you a million times until you get it. And if you get mad at me, it's just like I don't care. Like it's off. You know what I mean?
Shit,
like
right.
auto tune isn't gonna save you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not gonna save you. And we and my dad, we didn't have, back didn't have no auto tune, so
Exactly.
there was no way he wasn't gonna tell me like, okay, it's cool. Like when you record your songs, like you're gonna be good. So he was like, nah,
You gotta know that shit.
hell yeah. So that's why I say he was kind of like Joe Jackson in that way. Like with the and he took on the youth choir and youth band.
Oh man.
So I then began to play all these different instruments so I can teach other kids to hop on because there was no people. It wasn't like the cool thing to do. So
What's crazy is like growing up in a musical household
Mm.
because that's essentially what it was,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah, for
everybody
sure.
did something related to
sure.
music. That it has to be like,
Mhm.
whoa, what the fuck?
Everything came from my dad. Really, like even my older cousin, he played the trumpet a lot. Like, and he played the trumpet because my dad played the trumpet. Like, I got into keys because my dad played the keys. But I was always the one that was just like, I want to do my own thing. So I tried to pick up the guitar, and I ended up picking up all these different instruments and different things, and developed a skill in every area. So that's how I got to like production, like music production, and like creating the vibe. Cause I just was jumping around. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So, I took drum lessons, I took guitar lessons, piano. I was in the choir at school, like where they were singing like classical shit. That's where I learned how to sing. Cause I could always sing, like, but I didn't know how to sing. And that's the thing that like artists don't understand. Like there's a lot, I can name a lot of, well, pretty much every singer in the industry right now. They don't know how to sing, but they can sing. You know what I
Break it
mean?
down.
So knowing how to sing, so there's technicalities. There's a right and wrong way to sing. It's an
Mhm.
instrument. Like your vocal cords is just a thin flap of skin that's like this in your throat. Then you have your tonsils and the cord, what they call the vocal cord, and it makes a vibration, moves the flaps of skin in your throat. Right, that's how you get sound. So just like a wind instrument, trumpet, flute, whatever, they get the idea of that instrument from your voice, like from this instrument. That's how they created those instruments. So you have to blow air. So a constant, steady flow of air has to be going through that to make the sound sound good, sound
Right.
straight. You know what I mean, and on key. So knowing how to make the key is your ear, right? And then you develop. It goes through your brain. Your brain processes it, and then flexes the flap of skin to like little little distances away from each other, and that's what creates the note, the wind passing through those flaps. So if I'm singing it's all in my throat, but how I'm supposed to sing is from the diaphragm. Taking when you breathe in, your stomach actually goes out. When you release, it deflates, right? And that's how you talk without even knowing it. So singing should be the same way. So I should be la 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 la. So you hear it differently than la 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 la, singing through my nose, through my throat, or singing through my nose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So those are like wrong ways to sing. And like Trey Songz, like sings through his throat, can't sing. Like Chris Brown, I love him to death. That's like sensei. Like when I tell you,
Right,
like
right.
I studied him to a T, like how he studied Michael. Like I used to study. I know all his dances, everything. Blah blah blah. Can't sing, doesn't know how, but he's like over time he developed. He learned. They got coaches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you get with a coach and it's just like a coach and a vocal teacher is two different things. Like a coach just kind of teaches you what to do with what you already have.
Okay, so I gotta ask you this:
Uh-huh.
How you feel about Neo?
Neo can't sing. He doesn't
He
know.
sings with his nose,
He
right?
sings with his nose.
All
Like
right, thank you.
he's like
Cause
he
he's a
doesn't.
cause he's a great songwriter. He's a great artist. He's everything.
But that's what he
but
did
I
prior, right? He was a
always
songwriter,
heard
right?
him.
Yeah, he was a songwriter.
Yeah, he fucking wrote "Irreplaceable," bro.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's phenomenal.
Beyonce,
He's
to the
phenomenal.
left, to the
But
left.
he doesn't
wrote that.
he doesn't sing in the right way, and it could damage like Wanye. There's a lot of singers out there you hear about like SZA, Adele, Wanye. They had to have surgery like on their vocal cords because they sing so hard on their voice. Like Wanye, if I told somebody Wanye didn't know how to sing,
Right.
they would be like, "What the like what?" Like you know what I mean? Like it's Wanye, but he doesn't know how. Like he doesn't know technically what to do to get his voice to sound like that the right way. So what he did was he probably didn't
He
have any
stressed it.
teachers. Yeah, he put a lot of stress on his voice.
Is that what happens to a lot of people when they go, oh, they're on tour, but they're gonna have to cancel XYZ
Yeah.
date because
Hell yeah.
their
Hell yeah.
vocal cords are
Mhm.
not up to par. Yada
They're
yada yada.
strained.
You hear a lot of shit from like Ariana Grande type
Uh-huh.
shit, and it's like, damn, like
They strain their vocals because they don't know, they're not doing it the right way. And then when you're doing an hour-long show every night, 3 months straight or half of the year, you're literally putting so much stress on your voice. Like you don't even know. Like when you sing, you use muscles like in your back, in your chest, you know what I mean, all the way down to like your lower back. Like everything's attached. So if I'm like I'm using all of this shit. So they don't know, like that puts stress on your body. So you can be fatigued and you can really be, because people think, oh, they're just singing and dancing, blah blah blah. But no, it's really like it's a lot of work when you sing in the right way. I'm talking like really opening up your diaphragm and letting the air pass through. It's a lot. Like it's a lot. It flexes everything in your body, and you can, if you don't take care of yourself or if you don't do it the right way, you can seriously hurt yourself.
So who does know how to sing?
Who does know how to sing? Beyonce is crazy with her voice. Like her ability to control her voice is phenomenal. Like, and I heard she like runs on the treadmill and like sings her entire show from top to bottom. Like,
wow.
And like, but while running on a treadmill, which is, it's just training your diaphragm, is your air. That's in like a trumpet, that's like the air pockets, the valves. That's your organs. That's your diaphragm, your lungs, and there's like a pit in your stomach where air comes in and goes easily, so you don't get like nauseous from breathing in and out. Like, and that, yeah, it was, when I learned that, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. That's like, you can really like pass out by breathing too much. Like, it's
breathing too
it's
much.
fucking crazy, bro.
I
You
thought it
can.
was the opposite.
right.
If you take too many breaths, you can like pass yourself out. Like, it's crazy, but your brain does it like without you even knowing. Like, it just regulates it for you. But if you sit there and like a dog, like if you sit there and pant like a dog,
You
like
gonna pass
you
out?
gonna pass out. Like you
crazy.
can't do it. Your heart's not gonna take it.
What makes you think that? All right, why don't more people in the industry know this shit? Like, what is it that stops them from knowing this? If you know this,
The
and you're
business.
here on our podcast at the Basement Statements, and
It's the money. It's the business. You don't have to know how to sing to be successful in this business. You don't have to know how to do these things. It separates you for sure.
So it has to
But-
do with passion.
Yeah, it's like,
Just
it's like,
getting it right has to do with you're truly passionate about doing it
if-
correctly.
Doing the
Exactly.
homework.
if you care about yourself, like, so I'm sure SZA and Adele and all them, after they had their surgery, went and went to a coach, like,
Coached.
okay, I know how to sing. I don't need to learn how to sing, but I need to learn. I don't need to. Okay, I should say this. I don't need to know how to hit a note. I can hit the note. I can mimic the note, but I need to know how to do it without hurting myself.
Right.
Because I'm doing these shows, and I'm saying, I need to be able to make money. This is how I make money. An artist is nothing without his shows or her shows. So if I'm pretty sure they went later on and got the help. That's I would hope.
that's crazy. That's crazy to think about. That
Yeah.
like after you make it, you have to relearn your talent
Yeah.
because you're doing it wrong, or
Yeah.
you're playing the instrument wrong. You're holding it incorrectly,
Right.
essentially.
You got there because you're talented, but talent, there's a difference between talent and skill. Talent, you're almost, I don't want to say you're almost born with it, but you kind of are. Like, you're born with a certain ability to do something, or it's just something you've been around your entire life, so you've just developed like a talent, like a natural ability to do it, because we're human. We adapt. We're intelligent creatures. We just adapt to whatever it is. But as when you start taking it to other avenues, then
All right, so you're are you the only one that pursued music?
No, so my little brother, he's into Broadway, so like theater. So he's in Ithaca right now, studying theater. So he should be out of school the next next 2 years. Next 2 years.
That's,
That's
like
awesome.
a performing arts type of store.
Yep. So they do like like you ever see those like like the Lion King?
Yeah.
They do like the Lion King.
Yeah,
on
the
on
Broadway shows
stage.
like
Yep.
on New York and everywhere,
Yeah.
how they be having it over there and
Mhm.
shit. Yeah.
He loves that, and he actually he started doing that because in the school that I went to, Penridge is the school, the white school that I went to.
The white school.
Yeah,
white
you gotta
school.
just gotta name it what it was.
It is what
what it is.
Yeah, that
White
I did a couple plays in there. I did Peter Pan. I did it's funny. Okay, so I have to tell you a story about how I got into theater real quick. So in it's 8th grade, the school doesn't know what the fuck to do with me. Like I transformed myself. like really transformed myself. Like I was like if you meet my parents, you'll be like, bro, what the fuck? What happened? Like, you know what I mean? Like
How did this happen?
Yeah, like cause I'm in no way, shape, or form a gangster or a thug, but I had to like I was telling you earlier, like I had to transform, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was different in 8th grade, and I wasn't bad in elementary school, but I would get into a lot of fights and stuff like that because I just like people would make fun of me, but I wouldn't let it. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
you won't let
fly.
it slide.
Yeah, so I would be fighting all the time. So that wasn't nothing new, but this was like I wasn't being provoked as much. Like it was like little shit, you know what I mean? And I would just fly off because I was just like, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna dead it now. You know what I mean? So the principal at the time was black, and it worked out for me because I felt like I had somebody on my side. Remember, there's only 3 of us in there other than her.
In the
And
building.
we never saw her either. Like you only saw her if you really did something bad. And this kid came up to me and was like, he was like, "What's up, my nigga?" or some shit like that. But he's white, like, and like I
Nip
just
that shit right in the bud.
yeah, I didn't know how to react, so I just hit him. You know what I'm saying? And my teacher had come right outside and like seen me hit him, so had to go into the office. When I come behind the door, I was always talking to the vice principal. But when I came around the door, I finally was like, all right, you gotta go see the principal. I was like, oh fuck, I'm getting expelled. Like this is like, you know what I'm saying? And I see it's a black lady. I'm like, whoo. Like, damn, like she black. Let's get it. Like, I'm like, dog, like he called me the N-word. Like, I had to hit him. And like she broke it down for me, blah, 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 blah. So we developed this relationship. So eventually she couldn't keep saving my ass no more. You know what I mean? Like
You reached that point, right?
Yeah. I reached that point where it's just like, all right, nigga, I got to suspend you. So she suspended me, and I came back to school, but I still wasn't like acting right. So the vice principal was like, we gotta like try and like we gotta put him somewhere else. Like we gotta do something else. So they were like, this kid backed out of the school play that they do every year. And he was just like, it's the lead role, and they can't put you know what I'm saying? We know that you dance and stuff. They didn't know that I sang at that time, but they were like, we're gonna put you in the play and see how you do. That was like a punishment.
What play was it?
It was this old Greek play, and I was this prince. The lady was one of those white ladies who like worked in the inner city and like really loves black people. So like, but she wasn't in any way, shape, or form like acting like she was black.
Pandering. Or whatever.
Yeah. She wasn't on the line.
She was like, one of those like freedom writers, Hillary Swank.
You
type.
feel me? Exactly.
She said Hillary Swank.
She was one of them old white ladies. So she made it her business. And shout out to her, Mrs. Swanson. I believe that's her name. Shout out to her. She made it her business to make me, a black kid, like the lead of plays that like it made no sense. Like you're not supposed to be this guy. You know what I mean? And so I was playing a Greek warrior. I forget the name of the play, but I was playing this Greek warrior, and I marry this other kingdom's queen, and then we run off together, and then I end up dying. I end up trying to save her, and I end up getting killed by this boar. So I had to die. Like, so that's when I got in there like acting and shit. So like that whole thing was like, it was supposed to be a punishment, but it turned into like I started fucking with it. So I started getting into
Mm.
acting and dancing and singing and all that. So that's when I started really kind of taking it seriously.
Mm.
And he made me do the talent show. He was like, "You got to do the talent show too," because she told me you kind of got like a little talent in there.
Right, you
And
talented.
yeah, but
Right.
and he thought in his mind, he's like, yeah, it's going to embarrass him. You know what I mean? Like it's going to break him. You know what I'm saying? In
Flip
front
the
of all the
script on him.
kids.
Little
Yeah.
did he know, right?
Little, yeah, you mean? So I got up there. What did I sing? I think I sang some Boys to Men shit, and then I danced to this song, and everybody like the school went crazy. Like he was just like, "All right, yeah, I don't know what I did here, but I think I just
I created
just-
a monster.
yeah, I just fucked up. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like, and there was it was in Penridge, there was Penridge South, North, and then Central. So there was, and then after that, everybody went to the high school
Mhm.
afterwards. So when you get to the high school, everybody's in the same grade. It's like 600 of us now, and there's still only 6 black.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
still no black people. So still had to, still had to figure something out. Like,
Yeah.
so they were just like, we got school plays and stuff here. So I just kind of continued to trend. And then my brother, long story short, my brother, he started coming to the plays and seeing. So then after that, he started, like, I want to take it seriously. So
Mm.
took it seriously. And now he's in college for it. So hopefully he gets one of
Hey.
them Broadway Johns, they go overseas.
God bless him, bro.
He
Yeah,
nice
man.
too.
Yeah,
Nice
no, my
too,
brother,
yeah,
and
he-
it's crazy. Like he's a crazy singer. Like his voice, he knows how to sing. My
Mm.
parents, he got the classical training.
Mm.
Like I got Joe Jackson dad, and they gave my little brother classes.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Like,
you got
it's
Joe
cool though.
Jackson.
No, but my little brother experienced some of it too. When it came down to the youth choir, my dad didn't play. He was like, "Y'all gonna learn these songs."
Did you
But
thank your father later?
yeah. Me and my dad had a real emotional moment. I got so I got arrested when I was 17, and that's when me and my dad really started bonding. Like
Yeah.
it was like, cause he was just like, "Oh shit,
I could lose him.
Yeah, it
Right.
got real for him.
He
like,
turned 18 next year. You know what I mean?
yeah, like I was,
yeah.
and in my case, like I turned 18 while on probation, so it was a peculiar case because I was on the line. Like it could have went either way. You know what I mean? And they could have, while I was in front of the judge, I was 18, but because my lawyer had to fight to say, oh, he was 17 when it happened, so.
Yeah.
Don't
That's
do it.
even a tough case for a lawyer, right?
Yeah, my lawyer. It was bro, it was crazy that whole situation. My lawyer had because the other two guys, the guys I was running with, they had public defenders. So my lawyer ended up like really representing all three of us. Like it was just it was crazy. Nothing but God that got us out of this. My whole life could have been like my whole life could have been different.
Right.
So,
You could have been
Yeah.
me in a documentary. A couple
yeah,
years
no,
later.
on some real shit though. Like I got a documentary for the world to see. Like it's social experiment that I did in the suburbs, and me and my mans, we gonna have to sit. I gotta sit down with them, and we gotta backtrack and get the people that so we can tell these stories because there is real stories, and this shit like it was we did it out of fear, like fear of white people. Like when you are a minority, what you learn about white people is like they're here and you're here. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? So when you get around them, you have there's like a timidness.
Yeah.
But we from the islands, like I didn't give a fuck about none of that shit. Like,
Right.
and I didn't see it. Like, and other black people would try and like convince you like, nah, it's just the way it is. And I used to look at him like, my brother, like there are countries where everybody look just like you. You know what I mean? Like like my parents always used to tell me like you're a king. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're of God. You're a reflection. They didn't use those type words, but through Christianity, that's what that's what they taught. So I never believed that I was less than anybody. You know what I mean? So I just was like, I gotta figure out a way to survive this shit because they really believe that they're better than us, and I saw that. You know what I mean? And it broke me down. My dad had a crazy talk with me. It was tough love because he went to Penn State,
Mm.
It was super racist up there. Like it
Oh
was
yeah.
to the point where it's like they wouldn't even let him study in the same room as white kids and shit. So like he experienced racism on another level, and this was the first time I had experienced what racism actually was. You learn about it in school and shit, but they talk about that shit like it wasn't still going on. You know what I mean? And and I experienced two different worlds of black people. So this was like a whole other experience. So I was like, I gotta figure something out. Like they see us as thugs and shit. So you know, I'm not ever gonna get the respect. So I gotta make them fear us. They fear us. That's what I used to hear older black people say that to me. Like, oh, they scared like of y'all. So I was like, how do I play on the fear of white people? What are they afraid of? Like, what do y'all think I'm going to really get up here and do? Because y'all motherfuckers is scary. Like, that's what I used to. But I was like, all right. So it's the drugs and the gangsters, the thug life, the rap shit, the shit that they listening to in the songs. So I started really listening to the songs, and it's crazy because Meek was one of the artists that was popping at the time. So I used to listen to all Meek shit. So all the shit Meek was talking about, I used to I just, this is my persona. This is what I'm gonna hop into. Meek, Wiz Khalifa, that was another one that I used to watch. Then ARAB, all these niggas. That's why I was saying the whole Meek thing is funny as shit because like how it's all coming. You know how
Right,
how
right.
coming
Full circle, baby.
Yeah. So it's just crazy. But yeah, we started a gang out there. Like called the 44s. Like I throw
Oh
that shit
shit.
up. Bro, you throw that shit up in the county, like
They know.
yeah, like that shit is serious. But I never meant for it to be that way.
Be that way. Yeah.
It just
turned
happened.
out
You
to
know what I
be
mean?
that way.
Yeah, it just turned out to be a real thing.
And you know what's crazy? It's just a matter of you speaking for people that don't got voices.
And that's really what it was. That's where I learned like I have the power of influence. Like I was using it for evil though. Like I was really trying to destroy people. Like I was mad. Like I was really like, who the fuck do y'all think y'all are? Like I knew the history, you know what I'm saying? Like we this our shit for real. If you really want to, be
Right.
technical. So I was just like, you mean I was in an evil place. I ain't even gonna lie. Like I wasn't in a nice place with it. I was like, I'm gonna survive this shit. You know what I'm saying? Any means necessary. Like my dad would tell me stories and shit. Like I was like that will never be me. Like it would never be me. And we changed like our school color. It got serious, bro. Like our school colors was like green and white and gray. We changed that shit to red because my man's his family they got adopted by Bloods that moved over here from LA. So there's a blood set in Norristown and shit. So yeah,
That's crazy to think about, right?
It's crazy as shit. And
How
like
it traveled
it just
from down
traveled.
there, bro.
Yep. And he came from New York. They went from the West Coast to New York, and he was schooling me on the gang culture and shit like that. So we adopted the color red. So the 44 is 44 come from the last four. That's the last two digits of the area code. So we just took that and was like, we're gonna be the 44s. It was four of us. It just made sense. Like, so that's why this whole 4-time the baby shit is just funny as shit, because we used to really throw that shit up when we was kids, but it was fake to us. But to them white kids, boy, what? That shit, we used to have them niggas shook, like shook, and it used to be interesting because it just be like, wow, we really like it's created this, like, you know what I'm saying? And once I got older, I was like, man, I gotta do this, with my music. I gotta be, because I know I have the gift to be influential. We brought all the black people in the suburbs, period, together. Like it's like we really gonna go down in history for this shit, because like we had black people and Spanish people working together like you never seen before, bro. Like I made it I made it an issue. I was just like, there is 2,600 kids in this school, and there's only 13 to 23 black kids.
Think about percentile, like that's like
That's
0.5.
It's crazy. You
That's
know what
like
I mean?
0.5.
And then there was a lot of Spanish people up there, because a lot of them come from New York and live in Reading and Allentown, and they moved to like Quakertown, and they ended up, in
In
Telford
yeah.
and in that area. So there was a lot of Spanish people up there, but they stuck together. The black people, we was fucked up. We ain't know what to do till I came up there. So when I came up there, I was like, y'all got a family now. Like this is, anybody. We had rules like you couldn't fuck with it. You had to have good grades. Like nobody who we was fucking with was a flunky. Nobody was, if they got kicked out of school it was because they fucked up. They brought weed to school or whatever it was, stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
you and we just never like we had there was a certain way you had to carry yourself to fuck with us, and it got to the point where like the kids, like the nerds or whatever, I guess you would say, like
Right.
we wasn't one of them gang kids in the school that was bullies and shit. Like we didn't fuck with bullies. Like I didn't fuck with bullies. I can't speak for my man, but I just didn't fuck with bullies because like the bullies I'm talking about, like cause I ain't gonna lie, we bullied bullies. Like
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
it's just, you know what I mean? Like it was just
y'all basically became the
Used to
Black
do the same
Masons.
shit.
yeah, no, on
'Cause
some,
that's what the Masons
on
are.
some
You believe
shit,
in
like-
church and you rock out.
yeah, like we had people, like kids would wear red. They would start to wear red so that they would know we on Friday was like our school spirit day, but we was just like fuck that, we don't fuck with the school, so we gonna have 44 day, we gonna have red day, and so every Friday was red day. So from 10th grade to 12th grade, it just grew and grew and grew. By the time 12th grade came, every Friday, like I used to have all red everything. I used to like buy clothes and like hide it at my man's crib because like my parents, they wasn't, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't buying me all the new shit.
Right.
So I couldn't tell them like where money was coming from. So you know what I'm saying? So I would be in all this red shit, like, and the whole school, you would go there and you would think our school colors was red, like, cause the way we was all just, so they would call us into the office all the time, like, yo, y'all part of the Latin Kings and the Bloods and shit. Like they ain't know the gangs and shit. They ain't know. So we used to just play with them like Latin Kings, like,
Right.
shut up, like, yeah, like dude, I'm black, bro.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck?
Let's talk about
Like,
leg kick.
yeah, like, so
Right.
it's just like we would just play with them, man. And by the time we got to 12th grade, like it was just too big. Like we started inching into Philly and shit, and it started getting real. Like it wasn't just the suburbs no more. We wasn't just selling, you know what I'm saying, smoking with the kids. We selling with now. Niggas is moving into bigger shit now. Plugs is getting arrested. There's CIs in the school. Like we really turned Percy to the hood. Like more black people started moving up there. And by the time I was in 12th grade, like the number jumped from like 23 of them to like 100 and something of us. So like, but not in my grade, but like in ninth grade, like the whole freshman class was all young boys from Philly, like from the city. So I was just like, and once they came to me there, I was just like, as soon as you was black, like you had to come talk to us. Like it just how it was. Like if
Yeah, because there's barely any blacks in the school.
yeah, like it was nobody there, and once they see us all walking around the hallways, all in the same shirt and shit, so they be like, oh, that's
what we gonna do.
Yeah, that's what my guys, and they from the city, so they know all that click shit. They was
Right.
hip to it already, so it just grew and grew and grew, and it got out of hand till a couple years ago. When we got arrested, everything stopped. That was like our fall. It was like, you know what I mean. And these guys, the McCarthy brothers, you could probably, if you type in the McCarthy brothers online, you'll hear they had the biggest heroin ring. They're the reason why Kensington was even on Drug Inc. Like they was like the real deal. I can talk about that. I can't talk about anybody else who we deal with because it like I said, it got serious. It got serious. Like, and I, you know what I'm saying, I gotta wait. But those two I can talk about because that was, that's public, that's
Knowledge.
news. Yeah,
Right,
we used to, these guys were getting watched by the feds, like real. It was real. It got real, and we wasn't prepared for that shit. So I had to really watch, like I used to watch movies, like I watched American Gangster and Scarface and all this shit, and seeing how they operated. Because in the beginning, my cousin, he was selling drugs and shit. Like I didn't want to, like I wasn't, that wasn't my lane.
Yeah.
So I got into like the business of it, like running the business, like the right hand man to the Don type shit. Like I really started studying that shit, and that's the Sicario, that's the hitman. So I started really trying to take on that persona. Yeah.
Right.
So and I wasn't killing people as a kid, you know what I'm saying, obviously, but like it started like the whole being like a protector to the Don. Like I really, my man's like, I was really like his protection. And it's weird because I'm skinny, like I'm small, but I train, like these hands is low key licensed. Like I didn't sign the contract because, I just, I don't want to.
Right. So what we'll do? No.
Gonna pop up in a Matrix film one
It's
day.
just like it's like these.
So in between with all that, what happened? Were you absent from the music? Or
Yeah, I
all that?
wasn't. Yeah, so I would only do music like talent shows and shit. Like
Oh,
the
okay.
school would have a talent show every other year, so I do it. And like
It's 11
And
o'clock.
When did it start?
shit.
When did it start turning around?
um,
Like that you was like,
so when I got arrested, that was kind of like it for me. No, it wasn't it for me. I'm not gonna say it was it for me, but I stopped being wild because that shit comes with like power is intoxicating. Like when you really can walk in somewhere like where you not supposed to be. Like I was not supposed to have that much influence in that school. Period. Like I'm telling you, like Percy, Quakertown, you take a drive up there, you're gonna be like,
What the
like
fuck?
this kid like was on some shit now because like we wasn't supposed to have that. Like they wasn't even supposed to give us that kind of power. But I could like it was bad to the point where like if I had a problem with you, like I could send people, like we had bus routes. I would send people in cars to follow your bus to find out where you lived. And then I would just torment you. Like it just, you know what I mean? I didn't have to hit these. I didn't have to hit these kids. Like, cause you hit them, they'll call the cops and shit.
Yeah.
Like, so I had to get creative with this shit. Like I had to,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
So
and,
like,
and with all this ass whooping, we're gonna take a break.
oh yeah, let's get it.
yeah.
Because I mean, we've been here for an hour. We gotta take a piss.
Let's get it.
Right.
I'm trying to smoke a L.
Hey, I got you.
Let's get it.
Oof. We be back.
That shit flew.
That hour flew, bro.
That shit flew fast as hell. I definitely do gotta take a piss.
right back.
We gonna go to that bathroom right there.
Wait. Hit the power button on top. What you said?
I turned that one off. We hit the other drum. There's one behind.